Where I am now, better than before. Through those open doors, where I am now, where I am now, I'm in a special place. I'll tell you all the place where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, where I am now. I am now. And if you'd like to see us live at WGPL 1350 Studio, WMVA 88.9 FM Studio, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton's Facebook page, and guess what? You can see us live right here in the studio. And if you want to hear us all over the globe, all you have to do is go to 1400 AM, 1350 AM, click and listen live. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning. Mr. E, is a beautiful rainy day in the neighborhood.
Would you, could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors, our WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
WMVA 88.9, good morning to you. Peace 95.3 FM and WPCE 1400. Hello.
Facebook Live is on and popping. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll shout you out later on in the show.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. Take yourself over there to YouTube. Our newest channel is FYI Radio Show host Yolanda Hinton, and you can always go to Crystal Records 1, CRISTO Records 1, and like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell somebody about FYI.
Yeah.
And we'll shout you out. We promise.
You sure?
I'm sure. Somebody's popped on right here. Let's see who it is. Sheila Robbins. Good morning, my beautiful friend. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you all that are listening, say something in the comments. We want to acknowledge you. We want to shout you out, and we want to tell you how much we love your support.
Yeah.
Mr. E.
Yeah.
What day is it today?
Today. Home day.
What a wonderful hump day that was. That just made my ears just sink my ears out, Mr. E. It's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. You all should be up and popping
and up
and popping. I tell you what, it rained so hard yesterday and last night, Mr. E. I think everybody kind of slept pretty good.
Well, I slept through it. I did not know the rain in Spain fall gently on the plain.
It was falling somewhere, and I tell you what, I love it. It's good for the grass.
Yeah.
And, it just makes it, it cools things off a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah, so Mr. E, this is our Wednesday segment. What's under the hat? And today we're going to talk about the team. Honey, we're talking about Vice President Kamala Harris' pick for Vice President for the election 2024. Mr. E, what's going on? Yesterday I turned and saw just a wonderful grandstanding event. Vice President Kamala Harris was standing up there like a soldier. And she had her vice president, who is...
That's right, Mr. Tim Walz she got her vice president, Mr. Tim Walz. He was standing there like a proud peacock.
Yes.
Vice President KAMALA spent the past weekend interviewed the top contenders on her vice president shop list.
I tell you what, before we do that, talk about Mr. Tim Walz. We got to talk about the young man that made the beginning introduction, which when I closed my eyes, I thought was former President Barack Obama.
That was Mr. Josh Shapiro.
Yes, Shapiro was off the hook. The excitement in the room. I think they said about 14,000 people were there. It was absolutely phenomenal.
You know, Mr. Superior was on her short list, shopping list also.
Yes, absolutely.
To be the vice president for the United States that will run with her.
Well, he's the governor of Philadelphia.
That's right.
And I'm telling you all, he was, I think he's ready for something too. Even though he's the governor, I have a feeling maybe after Vice President Kamala Harris has run her 8 years, I think he may be up there trying to allegedly get that president on his resume.
That's right. That's right. Everybody wants to be there. I want to say good morning to Mr. Brandon Cox. Thank you so much for tuning in to FYI Radio Show. We appreciate you jumping in. And, looking forward to you doing more with FYI.
That's my nephew. Hey, Brandon, Lord have mercy. I love seeing him online. He's not up there enough, if you ask me. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. Love to your mom and family. So we're talking about Vice President Kamala Harris. What is going on, Mr. E?
You know, Ms. Hinton, Vice President Kamala Harris is like a bullet in a chamber. She's ready to pop in a second.
Oh my God.
And she's got so much of her bullets loaded up. As I begin to look at Vice President Kamala Harris, and I begin to look at some of the picks that she had that's going to roll with her, run with her, Mr. Tim Walz, Mr. Josh Shapiro, and Arizona's Senator Mark Kelly. All of these was some of her favorite picks that was on her shopping list.
Well, that's fine. Let me ask your opinion. Why do you think she didn't pick Shapiro? Because, he has the fire, he has the charisma, good looking guy, governor. But my impression is that he had a lot of, I think he had too much. I think a vice president is supposed to kind of be like almost like a second fiddle. This man probably would stand out like a president, if you ask me.
That's right. He might have the potential to be in a president, but I believe that when she began to look at folks who for to be the vice president, she was looking for someone that's going to have her back. That's going to look out for her and not try to, because the same ingredients that you get on the chips is the same ingredients are in the crumbs. So even though she might be on the out front, but she picked somebody that don't mind being in the background.
Yes, it was just 16 days ago that President Joe Biden dropped out of the race, and Harris and her vetting team, led by former Attorney General Eric Holder, were operating in a truncated time frame. The vetting team initially cast a wide net with more than a dozen people in consideration. That list quickly got shorter, with 9 people being formally asked to submit vetting materials.
That's right.
You got to be vetted. They got to go inside your business.
That's right.
And find out who you are, what you've done. They don't want no skeletons popping up. They're going to look for them. The folk going to go down deep. But, they want somebody that at least has something going for them, wherein it's not going to make the campaign, election, and the presidency look bad.
They don't want nobody. Vetting is defined as checking out your repertoire, getting into your business, and making sure, like Ms. Hinton said, no closet skeletons. You ain't got nothing hidden there, because she don't need nothing to really make her look kind of bad, because she's got enough things that they trying to throw her way. She needs somebody that's almost got a squeaky clean record.
Absolutely. So our segment, the team, it's wonderful how the process works. It's an extensive process. It usually takes months.
That's
But
right.
Holder, along with his vetting team led by former White House counsel Dana Remus, campaign chair, and the rest of them, the staff, Harris's brother-in-law, Tony West, they wrapped up the work on Friday, turning it over to Harris for a final decision.
Harrison met with her vetting team on Saturday and was provided with extensive briefing on each candidate under consideration. She would then interview her top choice.
So they had three at the end.
Yeah.
Shapiro, they had Walsh, and
Kelly.
then they Kelly.
Yeah.
Now Kelly, I got a chance to meet Kelly in the airport. He's an astronaut.
Mhm.
Very nice.
Yeah.
If you approach him, he is going to talk to you, and he impressed me in that way. But I kind of thought that he got lost in the sauce in a sense wherein he wasn't, the charisma and all that goes with really having that big voice out there, as he gets vetted. I don't know what was there for me.
Yeah. Okay. But when we begin to look at the vetting, the process of of her team, what they was doing, after they came to the final decision, Miss President, Vice President, she approached them with the word says, "We are the underdog."
Ooh.
Harris introduced her running mate, Tim Walsh, and to fire up the Philadelphia crowd. Following Harris' interview with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, there was a sense of amongst Superior team that they met did not go as well as it could have. Sources familiar with the Met tell ABC News later Sunday, after interviewing Superior, placed a phone call to Harris' team, indicated that had reservations about leaving his job as governor, sources said. So he eliminated himself. They found out that he was getting ready to get out of the business.
All right. Well, I tell you what, she did pick this great governor of Minnesota, Tim Walsh. He's going to be the running mate, and he's a former high school teacher, a Midwestern Democrat. He is, like I said, all around. He's been in Congress, in the House of Representatives. You name it, they went down. It says at a ruckus rally on Tuesday evening, Harris introduced Walsh in their first public appearance together after she formally asked him to join her campaign just a few hours earlier in front of a crowd of estimated 12,000. I heard it was 14,000. Harris ticked through Walt's bio. Listen to this, you all. Soldier, teacher, coach, congressman, governor. He's a marksman too.
Yeah.
As she painted him as a champion of the middle class and liberal values with a track record of winning in rural conservative areas.
That's right.
Since the day that I announced my candidacy, it says, I set out to find a partner who can help build the brighter future, a leader who will help unite our nation and move us forward. That's what Harris says. A fighter for the middle class, a patriot who believes as she does in the extraordinary promise of America, a promise of freedom, which I love that, opportunity and justice, not just for some, but for all.
That's right.
So Pennsylvania, she says, I'm here today. I found such a leader, Governor Tim Walsh of the great state of Minnesota.
And congratulations to her. I am so proud. I'm with Harris. I'm what that slogan they said. I'm for Harris.
You for Harris?
I'm for Harris.
You already know.
I already know, and not because of her making history, to be the president of the United States, because she's for the middle class people. Absolutely. She's not for the rich, and she's not like Robin Hood, taking from the poor and given to the rich.
Yes.
She's for the middle class folks, those folks who are in between. Those folks who they got money to pay all their bills, but sometimes at the end of the month they don't have money to do anything else. So she's not being a Robin Hood. She's being someone that's taking into consideration that folks got to live also.
Well, I tell you what, Vice President Kamala Harris made that introduction on yesterday. I was sitting there watching, and I tell you what, she seemed like full of fire, more fire.
Yep.
She's really out there to push, her agenda and all that she stands for. Then she introduces this governor, Tim Walz. And I tell you what, he was just as fiery as she. He just lit it up. He lit the stage up, and he talked about a little about himself. He talked about her, and he talked about their opponents. And he talked about J.D. Vance, who is former President Donald Trump, his running mate. And it's going to be very interesting.
So, Ms. Hinton, this is a whole ball game is that folks got to pay close attention. So, because voting is right around the corner.
Yes.
Listen to what they're doing. If you're a middle class personnel and you looking to live large and pay your bills and get a job like you got, and if that's your kind of person, that's who you need to pull the lever on. If you're a rich person and you want to keep the money at top, don't want to see nobody else get it, then that's the person who you need to vote for. I want to see, because in the Word of God everybody was created equal, and so I want to see every man, woman, boy, girl live. I don't want to see. As we travel around the city so much, Miss Hinton, I see so many folks standing on the corner with signs. I see so many folks that gone to Target or to Food Line or to Walmart and stole shopping carts. There's a lot of abandoned shopping carts from all the stores where folks that made the shopping carts their home.
Oh my goodness! Now that's what's they're focusing on. The economy is one, and like you said, a lot of people on both sides are saying, "Look, who's going to fix this?"
That's right.
And like Mr. E is saying, talking about homelessness, and that's something that we're seeing in Hampton Roads more and more and more and more. And people are living paycheck to paycheck, a lot of them. Some of them have not recovered yet from the pandemic.
That's right.
You got folk that's changing careers, jobs, trying to build businesses, trying to get on their feet. And they're looking at this leadership here, Vice President Kamala Harris. They're looking at former President Donald Trump. And they said, now, who's going to fix it?
When I look at Walton, he said he wants to expand health care, paid leave in Congress as a governor to protect reproductive rights, expand voting rights, expand background checks for gun owners. He has been a model chief executive with his experience. I'm telling you, Tim Walz would be ready. This is what Harris said. He'd be ready on day one. He'd come out the starting block. He's energetic. He's motivated. He's a planner, and he's an organizer. And guess what? All you got to say on your mark, get set, go. And he's ready.
I tell you what, look at his resume, a long list of achievements and a long list of serving, a veteran.
That's right.
A
veteran, yeah. That's what we needed in this day and time. We need so much support for the men and women in the United States Army that serve Navy, that serve military, that served the country and served them well. They may not seen any wartime, but they was on standby for just in case they had to go to battle. Folks don't understand that when you join the military, you're not the property of your own. You belongs to Uncle Sam. You belongs to the government. So if they say jump, you ask how high. So now I am so glad that they are running the cottonwells out of these Veterans Affairs, these hospitals. Because there's a lot of hospitals, veteran hospitals, that need attending, that need to be looked at. There's a lot of veterans that cannot get homes like they said they was going to get. There was a lot of veterans that need to go to high school, go to school, and have not gotten, that was drafted back in the days of old and have not gotten off off the soapbox yet. They come back, throw them right back in the street, and then they're walking around. That's why we got to have somebody that's going to help the American people, the citizens of our country, the people that's around our nation. We got to do something because mental health is on a rising high. That there's so many folks, Miss Hinton, that got that mental illness and it's off the chain. Everywhere you turn, you get in trouble. They say it's mental illness. You have this thing, it's mental illness. You do this, it's mental illness. Everything that proceedeth out of people's mouth is mental illness.
And then you have women's rights.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Mr. E, that's going to be a big thing on the ticket. And that's why we always encourage you all to find out the issues, find out what people are running on, find out what's on the ballot. Because everything is going to affect you, whether you're for it or against it. Women's rights, women's health, and women are fired up because I'm telling you, they want the opportunity to choose on both sides. Let me say that again, on both sides. Some people say, well, the Republicans, they don't believe in abortion, but they may look, some of them the main ones in the abortion line. And but the thing about it too is I don't care if they do or don't believe in it. They believe in the rights of a woman to choose or the right for them to have health care and things like that. And so that's why it's going to be a big issue on both sides, in my opinion.
And it's a win-win all around. If you're Republican or Democrat, you're going to win, because you're going to have the right to make your own choices, right to take care of your own body, a right that nobody can tell you what you can do with your body. So, hey, look, it's a win-win situation because this is on the ballot. Well, some folks don't want you to have that right. Some folks, they don't want you to be able to control your own body, your own self. They don't want you to get health care. They don't want you to have this. They don't want you. They so busy trying to control and stop the American people from moving up the ladder to live like they want to live and to stagnate and to hinder them.
They're talking about the middle class. I heard that a lot on yesterday. And, that is the truth. We cannot live in a country where there's only haves and have-nots.
That's right.
The haves are going to be, have that power. We do need the people that are in the middle to not lose benefits, not lose the thing. And then we have to bring up those that have-nots. I don't know why, people can walk by and feel like homelessness is a good thing. I really believe that, like you said, with the veterans, a lot of them are homeless, Mr. E. The people should find ways of, caring for people that have served and have done well for our country. And not only that, to help build the middle class. And hey, you're rich. The rich is trying to get richer. Why?
That's right.
Don't be so greedy. Be
That's
rich, but my goodness, don't be greedy. Make sure people all around are getting the things they want. And that's what they're talking about yesterday. The other side, on the Republican side, let's hope you all are doing the same thing. They had a conversation and a dialogue with Republican men and Republican people about what their side is going to do for them. They want to know now, look, we're looking at you and, you all are talking and having your rallies and things like that. But Republicans want to know, hey, how am I going to take care of my family?
That's right.
I'm middle class or I'm a lower middle class. What are you going to do for us? You can't keep playing games. You got to let us know what you're going to do. And so that's why I said we're looking at both sides and we're trying to figure out, hey, who's going to do the right thing?
And Ms. Hinton, that's one of the greatest things in the world, to look at the rich, the poor, and the middle class folks so that we can evaluate and find out what's going on. Like Marvin Gaye said, what's going on? Mm-hmm. And not only that, Ms. Hinton, we got to be able to look at health care. We got to be able to look at insurance. We got to be able to look at our children. We got to be able to look at the upgrading of our high school and folks that are going to school, education, college, HB. We got to look at it because some folks is like that show, the have and the have not.
Tell
And
it,
we
tell
don't
it.
want that. We want every man to be created, that God has created, to be created equally. We got to get these poor folks off the street. We got to get these veterans
Yeah.
that served for you, that stood on the front line for you, and then we got to get them guns from out of our community.
Mm.
And then we got to change our mindset when we start looking at the poor. Well, that's a game. That's a game. You don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know. Well, it's a racket. Even though the word of God said the poor you're going to have with you always, you're going to have some broke folk. You're going to have some folk that's running around with their hand in their head. Stress could have got the best of them, and life could have dealt them a wrong, gave them a wrong turn, and they could have been doing so much. And now, when the time for them to retire, they want to live a great life. I want to be able to go fishing every day. I want to be able to sit back and relax, and you don't have to worry about, oh, well, I got to get back. Some folks had retired, Miss Hinton, and now they got to go right back to work.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's a big thing among seniors.
That's right. They got to go right back to work because they cannot afford health care. They done live longer than their insurance. This is, some folks done live longer than their insurance policy. They didn't expect for you to live till you 80 years old. Some people are living longer than 80 years, and insurance companies expires when they turn 80. We got to get on target and start making America to do what is right by the people.
That's why FY Radio Show, we're pushing voter registration.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be pushing the vote when we get closer. But right now, you can go ahead and register to vote. Those that have turned 18, those that have never voted before, those that are independent, those that have said, oh, I don't believe that I asked on my vote. Get up.
That's right.
Get yourself ready for this movement.
That's
because
right.
We want change. We want things to happen. We want to have good leadership. We want to be able to care for ourselves and our family, and we want to be able to recover. I heard somebody today say, Mr. E, that we were affected so badly by this pandemic, and then we had to go through 4 years of a messy leadership, and so it says that this thing that's happening now, this phenomenon, is something that is bringing hope to our American people.
That's right.
And that's what we need to do. We need to give hope. Now, listen, you all out there, if you all don't care about yourself, at least care about your children and your children's children. We're talking about a life where they have opportunity, a life where they're able to grow and have and be productive and serve God and work and bear children and love on themselves. We need to be able to have that type of life, not a life in this country wherein we're afraid that somebody gonna come and throw us in jail because we're in the media, or throw us in jail because we're opposite than what they are, or take away women's right, or try to take us back to slavery or wherever. We don't need that. We need to recover. We need to heal. We need to continue to serve, and we have to have hope. We cannot, as American people, live in fear and walk in fear. And that's what has happened as a result of this pandemic. Mr. E, you feel, like Mr. E was saying, more mental illness.
That's right.
More people walking in fear. More people afraid that things are going to happen again with the COVID and all that kind of stuff. This is not God's will for us. And so we've got to get things back on track. We want you all to go out there and register to vote. You all that have never gotten involved in politics. I know people say it's a dirty game, and it is.
That's right.
But it has to do all with how we live and what we need for ourselves and our family and community. So please, FYI is going to be pushing this thing that you all would register. Then we'll talk about you all getting out there, making sure you vote. We're going to have information on who's running, what's on the ticket, who's on the ticket, and what kind of issues concern us.
Miss Hinton, just before we, just like you said, we tried to do everything we could possibly do. Listen to me. Everybody has a cell phone. And because you got a cell phone, one of the requirements to have on your cell phone is Google. Yeah, you got to have a Google account. And because you got a Google account, they have made things so easy for you to register to vote online. To vote online, you don't have to go down to the poll. Just sit right there and register to vote online. You know, you can do the early voting. There's only 3 steps that you need, and what you need to require is to have a valid driver's license or an ID card. You got to be a U.S. citizen. You got to be registered in the Virginia. You got to be 18 years or older. And you got to pre-register to vote at least 16 years. And that's all you need to do. All you need to do is say, hey, look, and you know, not currently convicted of a felony. That's the thing that got me so much, Miss Hinton. I know we don't have that time, but the thing that got me so much, you got to be, you don't have to be currently a convicted felony. And here we trying to put a man in the White House who is a felon.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, that's some more tea for later on. How about Fun Friday? Make sure you all join us on Fun Friday. Make sure you all come over here for a few minutes so we can tell you about some more upcoming shows. Be blessed. Have a wonderful day.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. If you'd like to be a special guest, a sponsor, or intern of the most talked about radio show, all you have to do is give us a call at 757-714-7861. Or if you'd like to be in our audience, all you got to do is send us your email, and we email you back. You send your email to FYI Radio Show Live at gmail.com, and guess what, we'll send you a link and tell you what time to come on, and guess you'll be an audience. You can be in our audience of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 right here on WGBL 1350, WPCE 1400 Peace 95.3, and WMVA 88.9, and on all social media platforms. Have a wonderful hump day. Bye now.
Boy, Mr. E, I'm telling you, things have made a turn. Now, remember when Barack Obama and John McCain was running, there was fire in the air then.
That's right.
Change we could believe. Now, we didn't know that change was really there. Until things started moving closer and closer to the election, and we saw people being galvanized and just up in an uproar on both sides, you know, moving toward the mark. We didn't know that destiny and history was getting ready to come together and have a baby.
That's right.
And that was President Barack Obama, the first Black African American president. That was a phenomenon. That was most awesome, and it was fire. Then here we are with our first African Asian vice president of the United States, which is a female. Which is, you know, this is how I felt about that, Mr. E. That was eased in so beautiful. It wasn't strange. It's something that we had never seen before. I believe that Barack Obama cracked that ceiling, but then here come Vice President Kamala Harris, and it was just so easy. She just eased right in there. And now we are talking about a woman president of the US of A. And I tell you what, it is so exciting to see. And the thought of it is change that we've never seen, but it feels so good.
You know, Miss Hinton, I began to look back over life and how we've seen so many history movies and history, what history brought to us back in the days of old. I understand now why so many folks don't want history to be taught in school. So they don't want to see, they don't want folks to understand what folks had to go through in life. They don't want to see the torment of African Americans when a woman got it, when a woman was able to vote. They don't want to see when a man was able to
Yes.
vote. They don't want to see the struggle of how African American people was treated and how folks begin to sell and pimp us like never before. So now that's one of the reasons why I can't. They don't want to have history be made known into the schoolhouses and folks see it in life because now history is turning around. What they did to us back in the days of old, guess what? It's our turn to turn things around. We don't treat them
Yes.
like they treat us. But we treat them with education. We
Mm.
treat them with smarts. We treat them the way that we have been brought. I understand why they didn't want you to graduate from school. I understand why they want to keep you on the plantation. All you know about is tobacco and cotton and things of that nature. All the inventions that we see now, an African American man or woman had invented it, even down to the can opener, even down to the lawn chair and that old regular wash machine that folks are using to wash their clothes with was invented by African American. They don't want us to come up at the rank and see how wonderful made they were. What's the purpose of sending our children to college to do what? To come back home? You don't need no education to raise children. You need that education to get out here in the public and let America know that I am somebody. Look at how these women are coming together. When you look at Channel 3, 10, 13, 14, you see so many African American women being sports commentators, ABC newscasters, production agency, because they have now arrived and they're now can take over and do what God has instructed us to do.
Well, the thing about it, we're talking about the browning of America. That's another thing. You cannot hold on to the past and how, there was one race that controlled and had power over the other. God, through giving us opportunity and assignments and making a way and open doors and folks fighting together for civil rights, have brought us to where we are now. And it was a time when people were trying to keep us apart,
That's
keep
right.
us from living together, keep us from marrying, keep us from working together. And now, what you have a blending now of the race, there's going to be a time, and it has already started. It's going to be a browning of the races. Look in your family. You're
That's
going to
right.
see, well, look, mix. I can look in my family, mix. They're of both races or other races are just they have come and they've meshed. This is a brown. It's going to be a brown
Multicultural
America.
people.
It's going to be a brown America, and so we need to just understand that we're living in a new day. Some people don't see it, Mr. E. Some people are kind of looking through a glass darkly, but then they're going to see that this thing is a whole different world, and we can see it now when we see a woman standing up there for president of the United States, a woman of color, and she's choosing who
That's
she
right.
wants to work with her.
That's
And then,
right.
and then she's choosing somebody that she wants to care for everybody.
That's right.
Everybody.
That's right. Miss Hinton, it was to the point where folks may not pay the close attention to see because they had to have. They said you had to back in the day. You had to have a minority in your office space. You have to have one in your on your job, a supervisor. It has to be one minority. You got to have one of each in there. But they did not know that when they had that one minority on these jobs, they was open up doors. They would open
Absolutely.
up a can of
Opportunity.
worms, and then it became we got smart, we got educated, and we've been be able to run companies. We be able to go open up our own bakeries. We begin to open up our own grocery stores. We begin to own McDonald's. We begin
Yes.
to own these things now because we looked at the value and how we was raised up, and now we was able to now afford these things. And now guess what? Our sons and our daughters are able, our grandchildren are able to walk into America's dream.
And that is absolutely true. It's just wonderful the fact that we have fought for our civil rights Women have fought for their civil rights. People are fighting for the right to just be human and to be not abused and misused, which is everybody's civil right. And so we see where we have come from because we have fought to where we have come from, and we thank God for all others that have come and joined into this thing wherein they understand. Look, you heard that one, you heard us. We
right.
have more
That's right.
people that were bystanders in other
Yeah.
races that sat back and saw us get tore up and tortured. They're not doing it no more.
That's right.
They're on social media saying, we're not doing it no more. We're not going to allow you to abuse blacks. We're not going to allow you to abuse women and other races and the LGBT. They're getting their rights too. The right to love who they want to love. And the thing about it, whether you agree with that or not, they have the right to not be busted upside the head because of what they, feel and believe. And that's the problem right there. You want to take away their civil rights. And that's what we're fighting for, everyone to have the right to live without harm, without danger, the right to be able to care for their family and stuff, no matter what walk of life they are. And so this is what we see. We see the bystander now saying, speaking out up for what's right. You got whites that saying, no more. What white folks, y'all got to stop that. Y'all got to stop busting up and abusing blacks and other races and stuff. You got one side over here promoting staying in that same foolery, too scared to let go. Well, your time is up. You had a time to do right, and you had slavery, and you had all kind of stuff tearing up all kind of people, looking down on everybody. And then you have now a new movement that says, listen, I don't care where you come from, what you are, and what you do. You got the right to have human decency, and you have a right to live and raise your family in a country that says we have a constitution that all men are created equal.
That's right.
And so, hey, listen to me. You all, this is a new day. I don't care how old you are, what generation you're in, Gen Z, Gen X, Gen whoever, baby boomer, whatever. We living in a new day, and God is going to show us something. This is God's doing. Why wouldn't we want to love everyone or see everyone with opportunity? And that's the problem. We had so many people that have looked down on so many and didn't want them to have opportunity. Mr. E, think about your mom's generation and your grandma and great grandma generation who opportunity was stolen.
That's right.
And taken.
That's
and,
right.
and they were abused. But look at this day and time, and this is what we want for our families: the opportunity to be in an America that says that you can have the American dream, that you can live a happy life, and then that we can serve a God that tells us we can have life and that more abundantly. So listen, Mr. E, we're going to be pushing, and we're going to be doing things, and we want to be on the right side of history.
And Ms. Hinton, on that same note, there's two things I want to drop into the air. Is that when you look back in the book of Exodus, when Moses was given instructions to him and Aaron to go tell Pharaoh to let my people go, it was the beginning of a movement then. God was releasing the Israelites. He was getting the Israelites a way to escape, to be able to come into a land flowing with milk and honey.
Absolutely.
And you can rest assured that when the Israelites began to leave, and Moses and the Israelites began to leave, it took some of the multitude with them. Some of the Egyptians came along with them. And so that non-believers always, and you said something that was so key when you said the bystanders. Well, see, the bystanders to me is better known as the middle class folk. They want to be a part and they don't want to be a part. They want to jump in, but they don't want to jump in. And so now the middle class, is now helping the rich to get rich and the poor to stay broke. And now they're helping the poor to get up on their feet now, because now the middle class understand what's going on. We got the money to pay our bill, but we just ain't got enough money to go to that next level. So now, when we look at the middle class, We see that the middle class is now on their way up. And they're not just taking themselves up in the middle class, they pulling them that has been ill, them that has been broken, them that has been scorned, them that has no hope, and to give them hope and to encourage them to let them know you can make it. I went to Walmart the other day, Miss Hinton, on Sunday. I get so sick and tired of going around the store trying to find a shopping basket. And
Oh, all right.
and I said to the folk, if we don't help our people, and because when you turn around every corner, you're gonna find a shopping basket somewhere or somebody pushing a shopping basket down the road, and and they're not returning the shopping basket. So guess what? Now the store's got to buy more shopping basket. And listen, let's put these folks in homes so they won't have to live in shopping carts.
Well, I tell you what, the middle class wants to stay, where they can be safe. They want to get richer, but the rich is saying, well, we want to keep you all. We really want to get rid of you all in the
That's
middle.
right.
And we want the lower
All
class
we
to be
want,
able
yeah.
to serve and have nothing. So you have the have-nots and the haves. And we don't want that for this country at all. But anyway, we'll be talking about that more. Join us on Fun Friday. We'll be talking about some other things, some other issues concerning women. And we would love you to join us. We're going to be serving that tea too, because we need to serve that tea. It's a whole bunch of tea that's going on. So join us on Fun Friday. Also, save the day. Crystal Community Corporation anti-bullying rally, our community against bullying. A call to action now, October the 12th at Virginia Beach Central Library. We need volunteers. We need folk that's going to be a part of our team. We'll give you that information soon. But save that date, October the 12th, 2024. Virginia Beach Central Library at 11 o'clock a.m. Drop me your information, your email, and we'll get back with you. Mr. E will give you that information in a little bit. But our upcoming shows will be Fun Friday, Serving That Tea, Sports Talk, FYI After Dark. And also follow us on social media. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We need the numbers. We need your support. And visit our sponsor website, which is Bulvic Academy, BULVIC Academy. Get the information on our anti-bullying initiative, get the books, the game, soon the curriculum, and go to www.bulvicacademy.com. Also visit Beard Gods, BEARDGODZ. Mr. Chris Hinton is the owner. Check out all the things he has, the products he has for the beard and for the hair and things like that. Yolanda Hinton's music, make it all right. Wherever music is sold, you can download that new single. And you can also be an intern, special guest, or sponsor with FY Radio Show. Mr. E has the tea.
If you'd like to be a special guest, intern, or sponsor of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, all you have to do is give us a call at 757-714-7861, or you can email us at FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com, or you can inbox us at whatever Facebook page, Miss Yolanda Hinton FYI Facebook page, and let us know that you'd like to be an intern, sponsor, or a special guest. And if you need us to bring some great shows and you think that we need to bring this to the table, let us know by dropping us a letter, a line, or email us and let us know. This would be a great show on FYI. Let the American people know about this. Let the American people know about that, so we can help our community to rise above mere survival. Not just talk about it, but be about it.
All right, listen. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your support. We'll see you back here on Fun Friday at 9:30 a.m. Be blessed and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Remember, you in Virginia, 2 up, 2 down, VA. I want to say congratulations to Noah Harrell, who's an Olympic runner out of Richmond, Virginia.
Yes.
Thank you so much, my friend. You did a wonderful job, and soon you'll be on our FYI show.
I tell you what, if you all want to see our sports talk show, go to our FYI replay. Go to my page, Yolanda Hinton, or Everette Evers page, and you'll see it. You all be blessed. Thank you so much.
2 up.